The Waveshare ESP32 P4 Wi-Fi 6 is an amazing little board. We purchased this $15 powerhouse board with our own money, set up a test web page on the board that handles initial Wi-Fi credentials, connects to Wi-Fi, provides a mobile interface to the board. Then we set up a test to validate the microphone, speaker, SD card, and YOLO inference all running locally. Threw in an 18650 cell and the tiny speaker and a push button to make this simple little prototype board. Works with our AI assistant using your voice, streams video, does object detection, and saves recorded audio to the SD card. Plays back either streaming through the web or direct playback on its local speaker. Let's explore the vast capabilities this board has to offer and see how it compares to some of the more traditional MCUs, specifically the Arduino Nano family. Let's start by comparing dimensionally the ESP32 P4 board to the infamous Arduino Nano. In this case, the ESP32 variant for an apples-to-apples comparison. The P4 comes in at only 4.1 millimeters longer and only 3 millimeters wider. Not bad given the extra items on board. The first area this impacts is the ability to fit on a classic breadboard. Historically, ESP32 dev kits needed to straddle two dev boards, as anyone who's worked with them already knows. These dimensions solve that problem, and you can easily fit it directly on a breadboard with room to attach jumpers on each side. Now let's compare pricing. At the time of filming, the P4 with Wi-Fi is only $14.99 with pre-soldered headers, and the Arduino Nano comes in at $19.30. This delta becomes even greater once you start factoring in that the P4 includes connectors for MIPI CSI, MIPI DSI, an SD card, connector for audio, and so much more. Now, this isn't to take away from what Arduino has done for the community. We started with them, we like that. It is simply to say that with the advanced features, the P4 stands in a league of its own. The Arduino board only offers 8 MB of RAM and 16 MB flash, which in and of itself is generous. However, the P4 board ships with 32 MB of flash and 32 MB of PS RAM. The Arduino is the older ESP32 S3 chip running at 240 MHz. Meanwhile, the P4 supports 360 MHz. Yes, this is the older P4 before the issues were addressed to allow it to run at the full 400 MHz. However, I would argue there are still a lot of projects that 360 MHz is more than enough. It continues from there. The P4 board has an onboard microphone, a speaker connector allowing for direct sound output, or pipe it to an amplifier via a 3.5mm headphone jack and a line-out converter. MIPI connectors for both CSI and DSI, an SD card for directly storing files, 27 GPIO pins, onboard CAN controller. But not only does it have one, it has 3 onboard CAN controllers, allowing you to hook up to 3 transceivers and connect to 3 separate CAN buses. Given how much we use CAN bus, that is a feature we will definitely have to try. A header for USB OTG capabilities and USB-C for programming. Like most P4 boards, this one offloads Wi-Fi capabilities to the C6 coprocessor, which leaves the P4 dual cores 100% available for your firmware. So the specs on paper are impressive, the price is really reasonable, it fits on a breadboard. What does it look like in action? Our example code is using the ESP-IDF framework. However, Platform I/O and Arduino support for these boards is available, just not fully stabilized yet. So we moved forward with the ESP-IDF framework. To fully test the board, we built the small prototype board, gave it power via the 18650 cell and a charging module, loaded a progressive web application directly onto the board. So keep in mind, the UI we're using to look at this is running on the board alongside the other features. That UI allows us to set up Wi-Fi without having to store credentials in code, then connect to that Wi-Fi network to serve the progressive web app. This is a great way to build a UI for the microcontroller that doesn't even require hooking up a display to its MIPI DSI connector, which it also supports. We wanted to validate the microphone and speaker capabilities to ensure that a device like this would work with our Peregrine AI assistant in the Trail Current platform.
Turn on all the lights.
Turning on all lights.
Sure enough, the quality is good enough that Peregrine gets the recorded command and processes it the same as all the other devices, so this could mean saying goodbye to the Jabra speaker altogether for future Trail Current builds. Next up, what about using the board to simply stream a 1080p 30 FPS video for remote monitoring, like for instance, keeping an eye on the contents of what's inside the trailer while traveling down the road? Sure enough, the P4's H.264 encoding is working, and again keeping in mind that not only is it providing the stream, but it's also serving up the progressive web application at the same time as showing us that stream. We could of course render that stream in another browser in the Trail Current Overlook PWA that already hosts all the other Trail Current features for seamless integration. But this test proves the board is plenty capable. Now we're not seeing the number in the demo web app, and the limitation is a combination of the C6 used for Wi-Fi and the encoder DMA. So you'd probably only get the full resolution if you're recording directly, not streaming. The Ethernet variant might also be another option for getting higher streaming resolution, but we haven't tested that version. Even with the resolution and frame rate we're at, it is more than enough to meet the needs of monitoring cargo inside a trailer while traveling down the road. We are also looking at a camera that Waveshare offers that has both day and night modes. These are IR cameras, so they offer a night vision type capability. If we get a chance to test that, we'll be posting another video, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Now, what if you simply wanted to record audio? For that test, we set up a simple UI, press the record button, and the audio is directly written to the SD card. The app shows a list of the recordings with the ability to play back via browser streaming or directly on the board using its attached speaker.
This is a test recording for YouTube to see the sound quality of the ESP32 P4.
So, use cases where you want to use AI models to analyze audio and send notifications wirelessly about the sounds heard are also possible. Given the 18650 cell, you could also easily add a solar panel and have the whole setup run 24/7. Finally, the extremely interesting use case: doing object detection using a YOLO model running directly on the board itself. With 32 megabytes of flash, there is enough room to store a 2.99 megabyte model, which is the YOLO 11N Nano model, consisting of about 2.6 million parameters and 80 COCO classes. This is an int8 quantized model, and the P4 is doing a great job of multi-object detection in one visible area. There are plenty of ways to fine-tune this further or pick from alternative models. This one worked relatively easy though, and Espressif had it as reference examples to work from. It gets even more interesting though, since this dev board can also be connected to a touchscreen through the MIPI DSI connection. We haven't tried that yet, since all of our HMIs use the Waveshare all-in-one ESP32 P4s, but this is an interesting option to have. It means that you could purchase one of these and not have an HMI use case. Then later on, if you advance and you need an HMI, you don't have to purchase a new microcontroller, simply add the screen to it. Waveshare has kits that include the board, a 10.1-inch screen, speaker, cables, and a camera, all for $69.99. I do wish they had a 7-inch kit, and if they did, we might consider using that for our ESP32 touchscreen with analog sticks, given that it would provide more flexibility in the case design. The castellated pins offer a unique option to surface mount this dev kit to a carrier board, with one caveat. You'd have to leave space in that carrier board in between the header row pins for the components that are soldered to the bottom side of this board. But it is completely possible and does offer a unique way to create your own design leveraging this board. Add in the variants without Wi-Fi that are even cheaper, the variants with Ethernet, and availability for a POE through a header pin. There are endless possibilities with this dev kit, which is why it's quickly surfacing as one of our favorite go-tos. Affiliate links to all the variants will be in the description below. It costs you nothing extra and it does help support the channel. All the code that we wrote for this demo application will be available on our GitHub repository, 100% open source and free of charge. If you found this video helpful in deciding whether or not this dev kit is right for your next project, be sure to give it a great big thumbs up. If you have a project that you think this is going to be a good fit for, please share with us in the comments down below what that project is. We always like to hear what other interesting and cool things other people are doing. If you want to know more about the Trail Current platform, be sure to head over to trailcurrent.com and check that out. And if you haven't already, be sure to click that subscribe and the bell notification down below so that you get notified whenever we upload new videos. And until next time, remember, it is your vehicle, your data, Wilderness Wired.